Two.
Hi guys, how are you today? It is a gray and dismal and ugh day. Here in the Maritimes, we were sort of stuck between two cold fronts, one going over the northern part of the province and Quebec that's dumping a bunch of snow there, and one to the south in Nova Scotia. So all my friends in Nova Scotia, I'm sorry. You're getting all the snow today. Wish we were getting it. We would love to see more snow, but looks like everybody's getting it but us. So if you are out and about today, make sure you stay safe, drive carefully, because you know what the saying is that every time a snowflake falls, somebody forgets how to drive. So be careful on the roads today. My tech whiz back there. What are you laughing at?
It's so true.
It is true. Never more true than here in the Maritimes. That and turn signals. Or Winnipeg, yes.
Winnipeg.
That and turn signals.
As soon as the snow falls in Winnipeg, it's nope.
No.
I don't feel like driving.
Yeah.
Why? It's not the snow. It's the people who don't know how to drive in snow.
That's true enough. Today, I know everybody's got snow falling and cold weather. Friends in Texas, I'm so sorry. You guys have had such a rough time the last week with this Arctic outflow. And I just hope that you're all safe and well and that you've got your power back on. And that we're thinking about you because we live that 365 around here. So if you've got your heat and your lights back on, you've got reason to be grateful when it's cold. And, a good friend of ours had a birthday yesterday. Denise Van Newkirk. Sweetie, I hope you're watching. I hope you had a great day yesterday. And she hit the big 6'5" yesterday. Congratulations.
Damn.
Yep. So, niece, I hope you had a wonderful day, honey.
I'm lucky enough to hit... What?
You're lucky you made it this far.
I'm lucky I made it to 20. Really lucky that I made it to 30. That's without trying.
That's without trying, yeah. Although that meant a great deal of restraint on everybody else's part.
Hey.
So today we're going to do something to bring in spring, hopefully, because it has been a little cold, a little nasty for a lot of people. I think we're all looking forward to a little bit of warmer weather and some bright sunny colors and nice sunny days instead of this cold, dreary, and wet. So we're going to paint Hoppy Spring today. It was a fun piece to design. It's an easy one to paint, and I think we're just about ready to get started. I was ready. Apparently he wasn't.
I was
He was too busy watching something else.
I was watching the stream warnings.
Ah, okay. That's not a good thing, bad thing.
It's just letting me know what kind of strength
Stream strength
or stream health was like, and it just gave me a warning like, hey,
alrighty,
do this. So I did that.
Okay, good. So this is what we're going to paint today. This is Hoppy Spring. I thought this was fun. It's just, we used a stencil for in the background. There's a little bit of lettering, simple, straightforward, just in plain white. Some bright and colorful tulips, bright pinks and purples of spring, or we could even make these crocus if you wanted to. And then, of course, the bunny ears in the background. So he's tiptoeing through the tulips. So this one is an easy paint. So sit back and get a cup of whatever calms you or eases you. I've got a good cup of coffee here.
Scotch.
And Scotch. Ew. And we're going to start on this little guy. He is a lot of fun to paint. One of those things that you just smile while you're painting it. You know you're onto something. And I'm just make sure I'm centered in the shot. Am I good? Okay, before somebody corrects me. So we're going to start with stenciling that background. And I've already got my line drawings on. You can do it before or after. It really doesn't matter. It's just for the sake of expediency, we are doing it this way. So I'm going to position my stencil. And again, I always take my pattern off the surface slightly. It just makes things more interesting. If you have everything square within the boundaries, it kind of looks like it's not finished or it doesn't continue. And I like it to look like it continues elsewhere. So we're going to use warm white. This is a 1/4 inch polka dot. I think the stencil number is M222, isn't it? For the 1/4 inch. And that's a nice medium size. You could
Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah,
Knowing your inventory numbers.
You could probably do it with the teeny tiny one, but I just found this one was not as busy. And the 3/8 is too busy because it's too big for this surface. So you're going to use warm white. Neatness doesn't count for this. I don't really care if the dots are perfect or if they're opaque or even complete. It doesn't matter, quite honestly. And so you're just going to stencil it with that warm white.
Holy.
So who all is on today?
We got Beth Root, Judy Thacker, Rhonda Biggs.
Hi Rhonda, hi Judy.
We got a whole bunch of people.
Hope you guys are all safe and warm. We have not had a very cold winter up here. Not by comparison anyway.
Nope.
For us, it's been a very mild winter. We hardly have any snow, which is really unusual for us. So I'm going to check, and yes, select my polka dots. So I'm going to move it over one, and I'm going to line up that last row with the first row in the stencil, and just continue.
Losing your sound.
What's wrong with my sound? Am I leaning on something, or?
I don't know. Oh, that's fine. I think.
I didn't shut my mic off, did it? No.
Nope.
It's fine. So I'm just going to continue stenciling until I have polka dots over the whole surface. I don't worry too much about the area where the flowers are. I just want to make sure that if there's a spot where a polka dot would peek out from behind things, that it gets a little bit of paint. And I'll move it again. This part's really easy. Doing that. Oh, there was no volume.
She turned down her volume on her mic pack. All the way down to 1. Good catch.
I must have leaned against this.
Ah.
It's one of those ones that sort of clips to your belt. And one, I don't wear a belt, so I had it tucked into the front of my yoga pants, and I leaned up against the edge of my desk and turned my volume down.
Yep.
So now I'm going to line it up again and finish off these little spots that I missed on the first go. Like so. It doesn't take a lot. I don't want them perfect. We're going to kind of make them disappear a little bit anyway by the time we're done. I just want to make sure I got them wherever they need to be.
Well, that's a cool emoji.
What's that?
It's a heart with the first aid cross in the center.
Oh,
That's a cool emoji.
so there, we have polka dots. I'm just, missed one right there.
And you're off the shot.
And I'm out of the shot again. I keep pulling it toward me.
If the boom on the camera was a little bit longer, it'd be fine. But
So now I have polka dots. I have struck polka dots. So now my next step, and this part is important because it affects the end result all the way to the other end. So I'm using a 1/2 inch angle, and the color I'm going to use is peacock teal. I love this color.
yes, the pattern is available on the website.
Yep. Moreau put up a new one this morning too. That that little wreath heart with the daisies in it is up on the website now too.
Oh, nice. There you go. New stuff. Love the cherry colors in this.
This is a really cheerful. I love the color.
Cheery.
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 Cherry?
I said cherry.
Okay. So
Cheery.
this part is really easy because we're just going to make sure I'm in the center of the shot. And I'm going to just float some of that peacock teal around the edges of this piece. And you can tell I'm not being overly cautious or careful with this float. I just want some darker value on the edge, like so. I love this color, that peacock teal on the Bahama blue. It's so pretty. So I'm walking that corner out a little bit because I want it a little darker in the corners. And I want it a little deeper so it softens a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing on this side if I'm in the shot. And brush it along the edge.
Okay. Trying to figure out how to do. All right, settings, do not disturb. Gotcha.
So once you have that edge done, you're going to take that same peacock teal and you're going to float. Ooh, too strong. It's a float, not a base coat. You're going to float all around that tulip design.
Turn down the volume.
You can go right up over the line drawing, so it's not going to hurt it. In fact, it'll work in your favor. So you don't have to really be neat and tidy about it.
Wunderbar.
So you get that color down in behind and around the bunny.
Jessica was driving home when we started, apparently.
Oh?
She's made it home now.
Oh, good.
She was listening, not watching while driving. Now you have my full attention. Perfect.
Well, good. I'm glad you're home safe, Jessica. The weather is horrendous for a lot of people, so...
Do not use electronic devices while driving a motor vehicle.
No.
It's not safe, and it's bad for your health.
But you can eat a cheeseburger and
Oh,
drink
yeah.
coffee. And,
That doesn't make sense.
yeah. But
I
yes,
drink coffee while driving.
everybody drinks coffee while driving, or tea, or road burgers.
Scotch.
No, hopefully not scotch. Jeez. What is with you and the scotch today?
I don't know. I haven't had a scotch in like 2 years.
I know. So I'm just going to...
For a good glass of scotch.
I'm just going to fill in some of those spaces in behind the tulips with a little bit of that thinned peacock teal. It's just to darken some of those spots in the back.
I purchased Bahama blue paint. Oh my, am I in? Okay.
I love this color. Bahama blue and peacock teal, they just look fabulous together.
You are blurry. That's the scotch.
I certainly hope not. It's a bit early in the day.
Nah. It's Saturday.
For scotch, it's Saturday. Okay, all bets are off. Is that it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Saturday.
No.
A little hair of the dog never hurt nobody.
Oh, yes, it did. So now that I've got that little bit of shadow all around the outside edge, I'm going to do the same thing to the lettering. It's
Have a
just
craving for scotch.
craving for some. Nobody craves scotch. So I'm floating on the right-hand side of these letters and on the inside.
Have you not seen the color of my beard?
Yeah.
There is such thing as cravings for scotch.
Okay. So I'm putting that shadow of that peacock teal, and it's a fairly weak one. I didn't want it too strong. mainly because it's going to show up well regardless. As soon as you put that white lettering on, it's going to get a really nice contrast. Oops, it's a little too strong. There we go. So if you notice where I'm putting these shadows, it's always to that lower right side. And this is going to give those letters the ability, they'll just lift off the surface when you paint them white. They're going to have nice elevation. It's as if they're casting a light shadow. Just like that. I just noticed I missed a spot on my line drawing right here. I got a new toy the other day. Got this chalk pencil. I got this at, this is a Bohin of France. It's a seamstress pencil. I got this at at Cupboard Distributing, CD Wood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, handy little tool.
I think I got a little pop-up for CD Wood. I do. Look at that. Boom. cdwood.com.
Yeah, Chris Hoy uses these, those chalk pencils. I have one similar, but mine is not working properly. Something's gone wrong in this one. I've had this one for years. The graphite lead works, but the white one does not. Even though I've replaced the lead a couple of times, it just won't mechanically work. It just slides around in there. So I wanted to get a new one, and so I got this one from Chris Hoy's site. It's been, I like it. And it came with extra leads, which is handy.
Good luck trying to find white graphite lead.
You can get it. You have to go to a fabric store or something. So I've got my shading in around the big lettering. I just have that little Hoppy.
A few people saying it's blurry. That could just be your internet. May not be fast enough. I don't know, but everything on our end is looking tickety-boo.
Everything looks clear?
Everything looks great on our end, and we have a nice healthy stream.
Good. That's always a good thing to have a nice healthy stream.
Really?
Yes.
You making a pee joke?
No, I'm not making a pee joke.
I made the pee joke.
You made the pee joke, not me. Good God.
But according to YouTube, our stream is healthy.
Yep. So I'm just cleaning up a little. So there we have it. That is all the prep that we need to do from this point. You will do all of your base coating on these tulips. Now, I have mine prepped, of course.
Flip it over, it's done.
So
The magic of TV.
The magic of television, yep. I have, the flowers are base coated with Lilac Meadow. For the life of me, I could not find the original color I used. I think I ran out, and that was the last of that bottle. So,
Really?
yeah. So I had to find something close. So I used Lilac Meadow. I think I used Purple Petal in the original, in this one. So this one's a little more pink than purple.
Why not use like a lavender or something?
Lavender is very dark.
Hit
So-
it with some bright highlights then.
So I'm going to put a little of my light purple. I'm just going to call it that, light purple, because with the paint shortages as they are, this is the best I'm going to do. And I need vintage pink. I've never been a really big pink person, but lately I seem to be painting with pink a lot. Kelly Hornig is too, and she never uses pink. So the base coats for this are pretty straightforward. The light purple for some of these tulips, the four in this background, and the four leaning towards the front here are all done with the vintage pink. Usually 1 or 2 coats is sufficient. the outside part of the ears on our bunny is just warm white. And then the center portion of the ears is the same as the tulips. That's that vintage pink. And all of the greenery in this piece is the aloe. It is very muddy, kind of gray, and it even looks more gray-green when it's on this bright blue, but it won't stay that way. It's going to perk up considerably by the time we're done. So we're going to start with our bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves?
Bunny leaves? Ears.
Bunny leaves.
Wow, bunny leaves.
Do they shed their bunny leaves?
Oh, not. Bunny leaves. That's a new one.
You got any scotch in that
No,
coffee?
it's just coffee.
Okay. Bunny leaves.
He's going to be checking my cup pretty soon at this rate.
That's a new one. Bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves. Where I have no idea where that came from. So I'm just going over my bunny ears. I have to stop and think about it before I say it. And I'm just sort of letting that paint run out a little bit around the ears so they can take on that sort of fluffy look.
Fluffy bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves.
She's not going to live this one down.
Nope, bunny leaves. Every time now, it'll be bunny leaves. So, there's one. I'm going to bring that white as close to those tulips as I can get it.
Sandy McTeer.
Hey, girl. How are you, Sandy? Are you feeling better? I hope so. I know she was a little under the weather the other day. She was a little
Of course,
green.
Sandy loves this design. It's her color palette.
Yeah. Sandy was a little under the weather.
Ah, what'd you come down with?
Just a bug of some sort.
Not the Rona?
No, not the Rona.
Probably the flu. Flu, cold.
I think she was just
It's
working
cold
too
season,
hard.
so.
Yeah, I think she was just working too hard and needed some rest. That's all.
Yeah.
So she feeling
Scotch.
better. No. Yeah. Apparently, Scotch will cure everything if you listen to him.
Depression? Scotch. Cancer? Scotch.
No. So I've got my little
Sandy, you know it.
with Sandy. It's what is that stuff she drinks?
I don't know.
Fireball. That's what it is. Fireball or vodka.
Ugh. Fireball.
There we go.
The worst of the
when
worst
Sandy and I are
whiskeys.
together, that's. Ugh. I don't do Fireball. When Sandy and I are together, we
Ugh.
usually have vodka and cranberry.
That
Nice
I,
and cold,
That I
lots
could get
of ice.
behind, but Fireball? Ugh.
So I've got those bunny ears in. I'm gonna. I get to show off my new toy.
New
I got
toy.
a couple of new toys this week.
New toy. Dun,
New
dun, dun, dun.
toy. Check this out. It's so quiet.
Yes, it is running.
My girl Sandy had this thing. And then Deb tells me she has one. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys forgot the rules that if you find a neat toy, you're supposed to buy two. That's the rule. Well, I had to go and get one. I just needed one. But my gosh, is
You
it
didn't buy two?
ever quiet? No, I didn't buy two.
But
Anybody
you
that I would
know
buy
the rule.
one for.
When you find a new toy, you have to buy two.
Yeah, well, I found a new toy. They didn't buy me one, so I'm not buying that one.
Goes
Besides-
against the entire
Well,
rule
it's
itself.
pandemic rules now.
Oh, pandemic rules. One for all and all for one.
But those are the rules. When Deb and I are, out craft supply shopping, the rule is that if you find something really cool, you have to buy two so you can share one.
Oh, share one.
Well, I have to give one to one of them because that's how it works.
Okay.
So apparently it didn't apply to the heat it tool. But if you're looking for one of these, this is really nice. It doesn't have, it's very quiet. I'm amazed at how quiet it is. And then it actually produces a fair amount of heat.
Don't burn your paint.
But what I really like is that it doesn't blow everything off my craft table.
Or melt anything.
Or melt, well, it'll melt things it's supposed to
No,
melt.
I mean like the housing.
No, the housing stays cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really impressed. So if you're looking for something like this, geez, I've had it like a day. I got paint all over it already.
Of course you do.
If you're looking for one of these, Chris Hoy had these on her website too at CD Wood. This is the Ranger Heated Craft Tool. Pretty spiffy little rig. I like it.
I had a doctor recommend bourbon for coughs.
Bourbon?
What? A good sour mash bourbon would go a long way.
Is that even a thing?
I like my
Good sour mash?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm not a bourbon girl, and I don't drink anything brown except coffee or tea.
I like my peach vodka. Ew. Sorry, peach.
Yeah. My boys aren't big fans of anything peachy.
I used to love fuzzy peaches, and then the army ruined it.
Yeah. Because they sent you away for 8 months, and the only thing they put in your ration packs was
Peach flavored everything.
peach flavored everything. Yeah. He won't even touch real peaches.
Fresh peaches I will. But if they're sliced or in syrup or...
Yeah.
No.
So I'm going to start shading my leaves. I'm using the fluid acrylic. I'm using sap green, but you can use plantation pine for this. So I'm going to shade my leaves around the flowers.
Sandy McTeer's got a Facebook Live on February 28th.
Yes, she does.
So make sure you guys tune into that. What else we got here? Oh, and she says she got hers in the middle of the pandemic.
Aha. Yeah, so pandemic rules.
Pandemic rules.
Yeah.
Plus, you still haven't got my Christmas gift.
I know,
mailed
that's
in
crazy.
December. Wow.
Yeah.
She mailed that in December?
In
and you still-
December, yeah.
and you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Okay. That should be interesting.
So
My toy list grows most Saturdays. Are you getting any more of the hearts from last week with the fancy frame?
yes, I actually placed an order last night for some more. I think there's only a couple left in inventory. If
I
that.
can check how many. Dum, dum, dum.
So, but yes, I am getting a bunch more. I've also got some more stamps coming in. So I've only got 2 sets or 1 set.
I have 4.
Yeah, there's 4 of the heart frames.
Yeah.
We'll get them to check the inventory on the website and make sure that they line up. So if it's reading 0, we'll make sure it's corrected.
I see 4.
So I'm just going to add a shadow around these tulips with that sap green and shade the center veins as well.
Bourbon, honey, and boiled lemonade. You mean a hot toddy?
No.
Well, that's pretty close to a hot toddy. Except hot toddies usually don't with gin.
He knew that response was coming. I can't stomach gin. I don't know how anybody can drink that stuff. It doesn't even smell like it's
Edible?
edible.
It smells like chemicals.
It doesn't. It smells toxic to me. I don't know. Some people
Have you ever
really
been
like-
drunk off gin?
Never. I
No?
can't get past the
Yeah,
smell.
it's because it's toxic.
I've never been able to get past the smell of it.
Ugh.
No, it's like cilantro, right? Some people love the smell of gin and find it refreshing, and I just, ugh.
See, I could chew on a handful of cilantro
I
leaves.
love cilantro, and yet other people say it tastes like soap. But apparently, this is an interesting tidbit. I read this the other day. Apparently, Julia Childs would never allow anyone to have cilantro in her kitchen, ever. She would intentionally remove it from recipes because she just hated it that much. And
Julia Child.
Julia Childs,
Like the infamous
the
home
infamous,
cooking
yes,
master chef.
yep, she would not allow cilantro in her kitchen.
What?
And I always thought that when I read that, I thought it was kind of strange. But then the fellow that wrote the article was saying that there are certain people And apparently it has something to do with your genetics that when they taste cilantro, it tastes like soap. So
Okay.
I can't imagine it, but I love cilantro. I love that. I don't know. To me, it just has a lemony, citrusy. It does wonderful things for all kinds of foods, but yet you either love it or you hate it. It's one of those things.
I went to order a heart frame from your supplier and ended up with a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Karen's website, chipboard.ca, is a dangerous place to go. It's fun, though. I love her. She's got some great pieces.
Oh, Linda Morgan got her order of phone stands yesterday.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Things are starting to show up. One of the things that really slowed the mail up here was that we had a...
It tastes like dirty socks.
Ooh.
I hate cilantro. How do you know what dirty socks taste like?
Why did I not see that coming?
It's like people say it tastes like poo. How do you know what poo tastes like?
Yep. So I'm not even really being all that careful with these floats. I'm just getting some of that darker value in there so that it, lifts things off the surface, changes the shape of them a little. This is not a difficult piece to paint. It's a little fiddly because of all the overlapping, but it's not difficult.
Cilantro tastes like dirt. Wow.
See, I don't know. I love cilantro. I think it's a great fresh flavor and does wonderful things for all sorts of foods, but
Cilantro brightens up flavors in recipes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
yeah, it does. It's like putting lemon in certain things, right? It
Or
just
capers
pops.
on fish.
And capers on fish.
Love capers on fish. I never liked capers before until I started putting it on fish and then realized, wow,
Yeah.
them's tasty.
Yep, them is tasty. So I've got my shading color in. And again, I'm not really being too picky because there's so much going to happen in this one. And it's going to happen shortly. So just getting those shadows in so that everything has the right depth. Easy peasy.
It's like mint and butter chicken. Oh, yum. It's a lot of people go to like, well, that's spicy. It's like spicy mint. Mint is cooling.
Yeah, with curry is, takes
Yeah,
some of the, brings the heat down without changing the flavor.
Yeah. It's like yogurts. Certain
Yeah.
yogurts, you get ones that are yogurt by themselves, gross. To me, gross. Don't like the flavor of yogurt by itself.
Oh,
But you put yogurt with a curry, it smooths out all the rough edges of the curry.
yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of yogurt in butter chicken.
Ooh. 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 Love
Uh-oh.
capers on my honey mustard salmon. Oh. That sounds good. Cilantro, Mexico, sunshine. What's not to love? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, our friends in Texas had a really bad week. Good heavens. There we go. Okay, so I've got some shadows in. One of the things that I do with this type of leaf, this color is so, I don't know, grayed out, the aloe, but it's a great base for painting leaves. So
I'm going to zoom in on
I
that,
like
if you can leave it right there.
using a thin layer of the green gold in the fluid acrylic. You could do this with
Don't move it too much.
don't move it too much, he says. I don't know why he whispered. He's got a microphone on.
Somebody's yelling in the chat room, quit it, you're all making me hungry. It's lunchtime. Swap yogurt for sour cream in most things.
Yum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just put a wash of that green gold over the leaves, and look what happens. It changes their look altogether.
I hope my bunny leaves look as nice and furry as yours do. Yes, I got them
Bunny leaves. Yeah, I'm never going to live that down.
No, you're not.
Bunny leaves.
Oh, somebody's got beef barley soup simmering right now.
Yum.
Now I can smell it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can smell beef barley soup. And even though I don't like beef and barley soup,
Yeah, you can smell it.
I can smell it and I love the smell of it. It's one of those.
He'll be happy with tonight. We're having Thai chicken tonight.
Ooh, I like Thai chicken. Love Thai chicken. Love chicken.
I know. So I'm just putting that wash of that green gold right over top of everything. So you don't need an angler. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk today. You don't need a shader, an angled shader or a shader. To do this, you're just going to literally wash it over top of everything that you've already done. So as long as you keep it nice and tight and accurate, it's all good. But look how it changes that green.
It gives it dimension
Where's my
and depth.
depth and dimension? So I'm going to do the same thing to these little leaves out here
You got your rigger.
with my rigger, because these are little leaves.
We get so much from this show, learning how to paint, where to get new toys, and some great food ideas.
I made shepherd's pie this week. Hadn't made that in a while, and oh my gosh, it was so good. Talk
old
about
shepherd's.
comfort food.
Oh no, I am so sick. Susan, why are you sick? Why'd you do that to yourself? Why is your body fighting itself?
There we go.
It would be really awesome if you had a page on your site for favorites.
For favorites?
Yeah, like must-haves, brushes, pens, tools,
Oh,
favorite.
that's a good idea. It would be a long list.
You'd be scrolling for days.
I'm a gadget girl. I love my tools. And in my kitchen, I'm even worse.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad enough in the studio, but in the kitchen, I'm worse.
She has like 3 different tools just to press garlic.
Yeah, I'm just
You just need a knife.
kitchen gadgets and
Just need a knife.
painting gadgets that's my weakness.
You have, what is it? I think you have 2 tools just for getting zest of lemon.
Yeah. I have a little tiny grate,
Yeah, you have a microplane.
and I have a microplane. I like the microplane.
Yeah.
But in my defense, I had the little grate for years.
Yeah.
And then I did a cooking course with
Mr. Ramsey.
Mr. Ramsey, and I had to have a microplane. So,
And what a difference.
oh my gosh, yeah, I love that microplane. It's amazing. So I've got my leaves based in. I've got all my shading in place. I've got that wash of the green gold over top of everything. So now I like to go back in, and this is where I get to clean up all of these little bits. So I'm going to take a little of that green gold on my brush, blend it out, and then I'm going to take a little warm white. And essentially all I'm doing is making a brighter, more opaque version of that green gold. So this is my highlight color. And I'm going to take it right out to the point on the leaf, like so, on both sides of that shaded element. So now I've got a nice, sharp. I love how that changes that green so nicely. I'm going to do the same thing on these top pointed ones. Don't worry if it buries some of that shading, because you're going to come back in and deepen it anyway. And that's just going to clean up any little rough edges and any little bobbles that you may have. What are you giggling about now?
Somebody said they hate cooking. Kitchens are modern torture chambers.
Well, Deb says she only has a kitchen because it came with the house.
Fair enough.
Not everybody likes to play in the kitchen like I do. I love my kitchen.
Oh man, there's 133 of you watching and there's only 51 likes.
Really? That's shameful.
A shame.
Wonder what they'll do when they find out what the giveaway is this week.
Yeah.
There's we've actually got a
Wink,
one.
wink, nudge, nudge. Let's see that number grow.
Yeah, we've got one really, really nice prize pack. And it's got stamps in it.
56.
It's got stamps in it, it's got stencils in it, and it's got brushes in it.
Oh my.
So it's worth somewhere in the neighborhood of about $75, 50 to 75 bucks in there. So one of you,
Uno,
unos, is going to get a really nice little surprise by the end of the day today. So
just saying.
So pretty sure we can see that like thing go up a little bit.
Yeah, 73.
There we go. See, they were too busy watching. They weren't.
Yep. No, I understand. You can't get entered to win unless you like it and you're watching.
Yeah, and leaving a comment.
And for those watching on cellular devices, I can't remember how to do it now. Of course, tech guy can't remember how to do things.
Well, Renee is trying to figure out a way to show. I know some of you are having a hard time finding the chat, and it changes depending, like the little chat button changes its location depending on what kind of a device you're on. So we're trying to find ways to help you locate it.
There we go. Okay.
Because we'd like you to be able to chat with us, interact with us.
Yeah. So we're going to take a look. Hit this button. There we go.
So there, I've got a little highlight on some of my leaves.
So we're going to have a little bit of a inception moment here. Stream inside of a stream.
Wow.
Yeah. So be right back with my mom's painting. Just do a little tutorial.
Yep.
There we go. That's what everybody sees on cellular devices. We'll click on the live that's going on right now. There it is. We'll skip the surveys. There it is. Ta-da. Oh, inception. Woo. But if you're looking to chat, it is right there. Ta-da. And you hit that. Hit that. There you go. And then you can chat away. The camera guy. Exclamation mark. Boom. That's me. And if you're you have to do it in portrait mode. You can hit that button there, and the chat will come up elsewhere. You have to hit live chat, and then you can type. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Back to the painting. Woo.
There we go. So now that he's figured that one out, we might actually get one about the iPad, and sooner or later we'll find it. We'll figure it out for you. So I completely messed up on one of these leaves. So I just erased my paint. And I'm going to do it again because I just totally messed that up. So there we go. Now, to me, these are all looking a little rough, so I'm going to go back in with a little of that plantation pine or the sap green, but this is where you get to clean up a few little things. You deepen some shadows in places, and it sort of fixes things up a little. But this shadow here on this leaf was driving me crazy because I almost painted it out completely. And I like to deepen them after the fact, and because it can help you clean up a few things. And in this case, I really needed to clean up some of that. Some of the floats on this were pretty rough.
Oh, there we go. What can you use in place of green gold?
In place of green gold, you can use yellow green, or you can use olive. Just keep in mind they're going to be a little bit more opaque.
But where's the like button?
Where's the like button?
Yeah, I should have just clicked the like button. I didn't even like. Oh. I mean, I always like my mother's videos. Always.
Sure. So, I'm just cleaning up some of these shadows a little bit.
It might go up by, oh yeah, there it is. It went up by one. Just somebody out there cover for me.
There.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm feeling a little bit.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
We lost our mic there, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to...
I can fix this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, you're going to... Things are going to be a little... perhaps
Weird
not
sounding.
a little weird sounding in comparison. So, I'm going to start with shading the inside of my bunny ears. Right here. With a little bit of that... I'm using quinacridone magenta. You can use magenta. You can use a darker pink if you want. It's just something to give a little shadow inside these ears. So if you haven't got the exact color, it's just a darker pink. So any one of them will work. Except I may have gotten a little heavy-handed with it, but that's okay. So a little bit of pink in those bunny ears. I'm going to walk that out a little.
Oh yeah, she did.
Everything else is plugged in. So I'm going to give that, use my handy dandy dryer. Love this thing.
Yeah, but the microphones didn't die. It was the receiver.
Oh, it's the receiver. Okay. He's going to grab our other microphone. You're just not going to hear as much of him today.
Yeah. Oh, how sad.
Oh, how sad. So, now that I have that little bit of shading in there, I want to deepen it a little bit with a really weak, I want a weak float of asphaltum on there. This is going to deepen my pink. And I like how it ages that pink a little more and subdues it just a touch. I'm going to dry that. And now we're going to break out a liner and some titanium white. I don't often use titanium white.
They're not bunny ears.
Bunny leaves.
They're bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves.
Rewind it to get the joke.
Yeah. Bunny leaves. So I've got a little titanium white. I'm going to get out a little bit of Flow Medium or Joe Sonia's Fast Drying Glaze. I have not been able to get any still. And I'm going to use my, oh my goodness, almost dropped it again. I'm using a 10-aught extra long detail liner for this. And I'm going to get some of that Flow Medium in my brush. And thin out a little bit of that titanium white.
It's going to go under the table. There you go. Which means I got to take it off the charger. Oh. Stand by for pops and crackles.
I think we have sound.
Yes.
Oh, good. We have sound. So I always turn this upside down for this part because I want the hairs to all go in one direction. And I like them to overlap. So I'm going to use really fine little strokes like this so that it overlaps that pink on the ears, like that. Short, fine strokes of white. And I'm using titanium white. And I'm going to do the same thing on the outside of the ears, the leaves, the bunny leaves. So the idea is to make these ears look fluffy.
Love your new dryer. Everyone who takes one to class needs this particular one.
It's so quiet. I'm amazed at how quiet it is. Sandy was not wrong. My girl Sandy's not wrong about very many things.
Having trouble getting Decor colors. I was told by a company that they are only producing their top 20 colors for now.
It's actually more than that, but yes, they've had to limit production to a certain number of colors simply because of the demand that's on it. They only have so many hours of production in a day. But they are shipping and everything is getting out there. It's just taking time for that trickle down, right, to get to the stores. So, but just be patient. They're working very hard to make sure it's getting out there. And they're hiring. If you live in the Danville, Kentucky, the area of Danville, Kentucky, and are looking for work, Decor is hiring. It's a great company. I've been working with them 20 years this year.
You've been working with Decor for 20 years?
20 years.
Wow.
Yep.
A lot more new names showing up in the chat.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Lots
This is a
more new names.
fun way to spend a Saturday. At least for me. I don't know about you.
Really hope that little tutorial was helpful.
Yeah. So again, I'm just using like very light, hairy strokes. And I'm making sure that they go up over that pink because that makes the ears look fuzzy and soft. And then I make sure that I pull those hairs out past the edge of the ears so that we get that nice fuzzy bunny.
Looked for the pattern on our website, but only comes as a paper pattern. Wanted
No.
an e-pattern. No, there's a...
It's available as an e-packet.
Ooh, excuse me.
So there. I think I'm just about done. What do you think? Those ears look, do these bunny leaves look fuzzy enough?
I wish I could work for Decor.
I started working with Decor doing product demonstrations at trade shows. Well, it's over more than 20 years. It was 2000 I started working with them. Used to do a lot of the trade shows for the True Serve and the True Value stores and the Crafts and More stores. So I did a lot of product demos for them. And I've just been with them all these years because they make great products. And if you're a teacher or a designer, they're an incredibly supportive company. You know, they have a great business model, and they make great products. So it's, you know, it's win-win. So there I have my fuzzy bunny ears. I think they're kind of cute. I like them. So I'm going to dry that really well.
Yeah, it doesn't even spike.
It doesn't even spike. I love this thing. It's so quiet. It
Still
does.
got the other one plugged in?
No, I don't. The other one is like a roaring freight train in comparison. So, although the other one gets very hot compared to this one. Like almost too hot. So now I want to make those bunny ears drop in behind those tulips. So I'm going to do that with a float of asphaltum.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, cute fuzzy bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves. Oh, sure, jump on the bandwagon.
No, that was Sue. Very cute fuzzy bunny ears. I corrected her by saying
Leaves.
leaves. They're bunny leaves.
So I'm just putting a float of asphaltum back there just to deepen that a little bit.
You have paint on the floor.
Of course I have paint on the floor.
Sap green.
Oh, my sap grain fell. So the idea being, we just want this to set back in behind that a little bit. So that's the reason I'm using a little asphaltum back there, is just to make it look like it's in behind those tulips. I'm going to dry it, then I'm going to do it again so it's just a little bit darker back there. Just a little. That thing is great. It's so quiet. Unbelievable. So there we go. I've got that shadow. I think that's just about dark enough back there. There we go. I just want him to look like he's tucked in behind those tulips. So there we go. I'll dry that. And now we can start working on our tulips. And I was trying to think the other day. I mean, people really struggle with curved surfaces a lot of the time. And it's not an easy thing to grasp unless somebody shows you an easy way to do it. I have an easy way to do it. So I'm going to base coat my tulip again because I've got paint all over it and not the right color. So I've got a base coat on there. Now, when you're painting something that has this kind of a shape, you have to think of it in these terms, that it's slightly cupped. And so if it's cupped, like the shape of the tulip, turn your hand so that you can see the lines of your hand. And that would be the shape of the cup, is following that curve. And it's just like looking at your fingers and curve them like this. Then you can see that curve. Sort of a visual tool just to give you an idea of how sharp the angle has to be to change the curve. So in this case, they're not going to be like this, but they are going to be like that. And so it's a gradual curve, and that's how you have to think about the shape of this tulip. So I'm going to rinse my brush, and the color I'm going to use to shade this, I'm going to grab my magenta.
What brand is the hairdryer?
It's a Ranger heated tool. It's right there. Yeah, Ranger heated craft tool. You can use it with embossing powders. You can use it to dry glues and adhesives and paint. It does get quite hot, so keep in mind, don't have it really close to the surface because you'll burn your paint. But
I now have a binder just for Tracy's patterns.
When you get to banker's boxes, honey, that's when you worry. Because that's where I am.
Love the depth in the ears. Fun watching you on Saturday mornings. Better than the comics.
Oh, that's good to know. So I'm using primary magenta. You can use alizarin crimson, any dark pink. If you're doing these pink ones, you can, any one of the dark pinks, you could get into boysenberry or berry cobbler or, you know, any dark shade of pink will work just fine for this. So I'm going to tuck a float of color right in here. Don't forget that space in towards the back, that little cup in the back there.
I was wondering when you were going to bring your favorite asphaltum, or however it's spelled.
It never leaves my painting table. So I've got a little float of asphaltum. Hello. Primary magenta. That dark pink is what you need. Tuscan red will do it too. I think that's the color I actually put in the pattern. I don't often use anything but my fluid acrylics. So remember I talked about the hand cupping? Well, you have to do the same thing here, and that's how I do this little curve in that petal, is I think about the shape of the tulip. And then that...
Getting better at keeping it in frame.
I'm trying.
Surprised you didn't put a splash of paint on the mat.
So I have a float along the bottom is going to form that cup. It's going to be darker down here and fade out as it comes up, and that will help shape the petal. And that's the thing you have to remember. You're not going to get all of this done in one shot. It is going to mean multiple floats, which is fine. Rome wasn't built in a day. Oof, I have a stray hair. Wonder where that came from. Between the cats and the dogs. Oh, I just made a mess. See, I whoopsied. Right there. Yep.
And poof. It's gone.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about stuff like that because you can fix it. So, now to start highlighting this, I'm going to take my base color, which is that vintage red or vintage pink. What is wrong with me today? Vintage red. Jeez.
Bunny leaves.
Bunny leaves. So I'm using a little bit of vintage pink, and I'm going to pick up a touch of that warm white. Just enough to change the value of that pink. I want it to be just a little.
Are we building Rome?
Feels like it some days. So I'm going to start highlighting my tulips, and I'm going to take that float of that pink out to the edge.
Dot is stoned.
Dot is stoned. Oh, she had her medication this morning.
Yeah.
Poor puppy. Our puppy has a problem with her hind legs.
Don't know what it is.
We're not sure what's causing it, but yeah, she's having a hard time getting up and down stairs, and she's dragged.
Happy and energetic, but
Yeah,
she
she's just
can't expend that energy.
yeah, she's fallen down a lot. So there is that highlight using that brush mix of the little bit of warm white and the vintage pink. So it pops that.
A lot of people want to know how Dot's doing.
Dot's Dot. She's doing okay, but we're worried about her.
We got to figure out what's going.
Yeah. So I'm going to take that same brush mix and add a touch more white to it and brighten my highlight again.
I think someone's dipped into the sky.
No, I have no such excuse.
Hip dysplasia? Definitely not hip dysplasia. She had x-rays a couple days ago.
Yeah, no, her hips are fine.
Her hips are happy, healthy, nice deep sockets. Nice
She's
smooth.
in good shape.
So
She's in good health overall.
We initially thought it was a spinal injury, but X-rays again showed no signs of a spinal injury. But then again,
Yep.
are you using water or glazing medium for the floats?
I'm actually using a little bit of that flow medium and some water. I use a little of both, but so there is my highlight. So I've done 2 floats of highlight on this so far. And each time I've been coming back to that original brush mix where I've mixed a little of the vintage pink and a little of the warm white. And then I added a bit more warm white to it to lighten the value. Just a touch. And it does make quite a difference. So then I want to add another highlight. And again, that's where that cup thing comes into place. I'm going to pick up a little touch of warm white or titanium white. It doesn't matter. And you're going to blend it out well because you don't want this too strong. And this is where you get to put some little texture at the edges of these petals. I have too much water in my brush. Now I don't have enough paint.
Oh, what breed of dog? She is a Dutch Shepherd.
You get a picture of our Miss Dot.
Yeah, she's going up right now. That's Miss Dot.
That's our Miss Dot.
Happy, somewhat healthy, I guess, but she is
She's a sweetheart.
she is.
So I'm just using this tap and pull method to put these highlights in at the edges of these petals. And they're in little groups. And it's a tap, 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 tap and pull type thing. Just at the edge of the petal, like so. And you'll notice that there's a little space in between a few of them. And I'm going to do the same thing here at each petal.
Tap, 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 tap. Tap and pull, tap and pull, tap and pull.
So I think by rights I should actually switch to a smaller angle. Here, maybe 1/4 inch would be easier.
That was a picture of her when she turned 1.
Yep, when she was a year old.
Yeah, I was working as a police canine dog training assistant. Blech, that's a big title. And a photographer was coming around taking pictures of the police canine for calendar, and she liked the look of Dot because Dot was in my truck. Asked if she could take a picture, and she sent me that.
So I'm just using that tap and pull motion to put that little highlight in at the edges of these petals. And now I'm going to grab a dry brush because I think I'm going to use my point blender. Use my point blender. And a little bit of warm white.
Your dog would be a great value study painting.
And she is beautiful.
She is.
And she's such a sweetheart. So I'm just softening the front of this tulip with just a little dry brush.
IPC point blender.
Yep, it is an IPC point blender. If you're looking for them, check. If you really want one of these, there's 2 places you can get them. You can go to paintingwithdeb.com.
Ooh, I got that.
She has some in sets, I believe. And the other one is the Brush Guys. And the Brush Guys have them. I believe they have them in stock. When I checked yesterday, they did. So.
Maybe she got into your scotch.
No. I don't drink brown stuff.
I think she's talking about Dot.
No, Dot didn't get into the scotch.
She is a bit of a lush if you leave something out and at
A cold beer in the summertime and she's all over it. So I'm just putting that little dry brush on that front of that, and it just brings out that curve a bit. And now I'm going to deepen all of the shading on this. I'm going to get the white out of my angle.
What's a good substitute for the aloe?
The aloe?
Yeah.
Just one sec. If you can't get aloe, try desert cactus. It's just not even a full value darker, I don't think. But it's in that same ballpark.
Yeah.
There is another one, but I think, personally, I think it's a little too dark. The light avocado is a little too dark.
Oh, yeah. Should do that. There you go. What was the color you used on your point blender?
It's just a little bit of warm white. Now, I'm thinning out a little bit of asphaltum here. And I'm going to deepen my shadow at the bottom of my tulips, like this. And again, wherever that red is, I'm deepening that shadow with a little bit of asphaltum.
If you did yellow tulips,
Yes.
what would you suggest for highlight and shade colors?
My base color for yellow tulip would be Sunny Day. That's my go-to yellow. And to shade it, you can use marigold. You can use spiced pumpkin, I think it's. Yep, spiced pumpkin. Makes a great shading color on yellow. And then for highlighting, I would tend to lean towards brush mixing my highlight from the Sunny Day. I always take a little bit of warm white into it, and then it changes the opacity, and you have better control over how bright it gets. Because once you go to white, you can't go any brighter. So I prefer to use highlight colors that are very similar to the one that you started out with.
Do the brush guys still have a special code? Yes, of
Yes,
course.
we do. This code is Tracy M, Tracy, capital T, capital M. So if you're ordering brushes and you use that code, it gives you a little extra discount.
Yeah. I think it's like 5%?
I think so.
I think it's 5%.
I think it's in a little bit. Better in your pocket.
Ordered from the brush guys and got them in 2 days.
Oh
Lucky
yeah,
you.
they're really great.
Lucky you.
Yep.
Da-da-da. Debbie Matthews says, "Hi Tracy, a little late to the party, but finally made it."
Hey Debbie, I hope you're keeping warm and safe. Debbie's in Spring, Texas.
Whoa.
Spring, Texas. So everybody down there, I hope you're all staying safe. That's crazy. The weather is absolutely crazy.
People down south they're not accustomed to it.
And not prepared for it.
And not
That's
prepared
the
for it.
scary part.
It happens.
Yep. And for us, we're always prepared for it.
Yeah.
We have signs here that say, expect winter weather year round. They're there for a reason because, I mean, we live in an area where the weather can be really unpredictable. So I'm liking this tulip. It's coming along. So a little asphaltum to deepen those shadings. So we're coming along. We are going to put another highlight onto these greens towards the end so that everything gets balanced nicely. So there we go. We've got I just saw a spot I need to fix.
Love the brush guys. Excellent customer service.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. They do have excellent customer service. And Stuart tries so hard to keep up with you guys.
And there's our favorite Karen.
Karen Jones,
We are finally out of the deep freeze.
finally. Won't be soon enough for some of them, I can tell you. We haven't even gotten into a deep freeze where we are.
No. The snow's melting.
The snow is, yeah, really. I mean, it's barely.
It's barely snow.
Yeah. So, I just want to brighten a couple of things.
The tulips are so realistic.
I'm just going to brighten a couple of things at the very tip of this, just to brighten up those highlights a little bit, because I was finding they were a little wanting. I wasn't getting the color I wanted. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
Great downloadable shading and highlighting chart.
Yes, actually you can download it. It's on my website. It's in the educational materials section.
There you go.
Yep. There's and the my color of the week PDFs are on there too. Okay, so we have a tulip finished. Now we're going to go to these purple ones. I love this lilac meadow.
Thanks, we have power, water, and the sun is shining.
Oh, good news. Good news, good news.
I do appreciate how the tulip tutorial teaches us how to slow down.
Yeah.
Oklahoma even had a 4.2 earthquake.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Wow. Close to the Kansas border.
Not tornado season, at least.
We're having a mini heat wave in Spring, Texas. It's up to 46 degrees. That's like what, 21?
46?
46?
46 degrees Fahrenheit is pretty nippy. It's cold.
Fine nippy.
Well, by Texas standards, it's nippy.
So what, 20 degrees?
No, I would say low teens. Really low teens.
That's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
No, us Texans were not ready. 3 days without power, 3 days without running water. Internet just restored today. And it will be 60 degrees on Tuesday. Damn.
So, it'll be 22.
And then you'll flood.
And hurricane season comes.
That sounds about right.
So, I put an extra coat of that lilac meadow on this tulip because it was...
I'm trying to remember the name of that base that I was at in Texas.
Fort Hood.
I think it was Hood. Hood's the Army base, right?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Hood. Air Force Base.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. There's bases everywhere.
Texans. There's a Air Force base I stayed at for a couple days in Texas, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. And I can't.
So, I'm going to shade this tulip with Diox purple. Now, I'm using the fluid acrylic, but the Diox in the Americana is nice and transparent too, so you'll be able to use both it and or the Americana. So I'm going to use this sparingly because this color is really strong.
With all the good weather, I'm dreading the tornado season. No NATO.
So I'm going to shade the inside of this tulip with Diox purple. And we're going to do this in a couple of floats. We're not going to do it all in one go because it can be a bit much.
That sounded like a dog going downstairs.
Yep. So I'm shading inside. Remember, the inside of this tulip is like a little cup in here and in here. So we're going to shade on the back side of that as well so that we have a nice dark shadow in there. And I'm going to do the same thing in here so that we have a nice dark shadow. And then
Yes.
this one,
Randolph.
Randolph.
I think it's Randolph.
So now I've got those separated. There is a little pocket right back here. Little tiny one. So that needs to be shaded as well so that we get good separation.
No, it's not Randolph.
And then,
I think it was Shepherd. I think it was northern Texas.
Oops. I whoopsied. So I'm going to shade on.
Getting off the plane, and I was told to mind my P's and Q's.
I'm going to shade in here. And then I'm going to shade the back side of that petal. Right there. Now, I've got way too much water in my brush. And I know this because it's leaving a halo behind, and I don't like that. So I need to take some of the water out of my brush. I don't have my sponge. I love Diox Purple, but it is such a strong color, it can be a little hard to control. Like so. So I'm just going back over all of those shadows because I want them fairly strong in there. There we go. Now there's a separation here too where that petal overlaps. Don't forget to put a little shadow in there. So we've got our first shadow on our purple. So I'm going to come back to that original base color, which is that Lilac Meadow. That's what I'm using, but let's go with the light purple.
Somebody said, what, no sponge?
I forgot my sponge. I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. And then I'm going to add a little bit, just like we did with the pink, I'm going to add a little touch of that warm white to that brush mix. And this is going to be my highlight color for those tulips. So I'm going to come right to the edge of that tulip, right to the edge of the petal, like so. And it's just a loose float. Just to give the edge of the tulip a little brightness. I'm going to do the same to these little flip overs here. So you see how it immediately changes the look of that tulip. So I'm going to dry it real fast. I'm really liking this thing. Didn't think I would. And now I'm going to repeat that, but I'm going to come back to that original mix, that brush mix with the warm whites, with a wet brush, and then I'm going to pick up a little touch of more warm whites. So I'm going to change the value of that purple one more time. And this one's going to be a little smaller and right at the edge.
With your recommendations, I bought the set of point blenders. I love them.
Oh, I love those things. So there is that little highlight. You can see that it changes it. Having that go from a mid value to a lighter value to a brighter value gives you lots of...
You're at the very bottom of the shot.
Very bottom of the shot.
There you go.
And now I'm going to come into that titanium white. I brought my brush. I'm heavy-handed with the moisture today. And just like we did on that pink one, we're going to do that little tap and pull. And this is just with that little bit of titanium white. Now, I am not going straight up and down. I'm coming in at a bit of an angle for a reason. I want these petals to maintain that curve. And remember that little space. It just gives the edges of the petals a little bit of texture.
And you're at the very bottom of the shot again.
Here we go.
Flip it upside down.
I flip it upside down.
There we go.
So there is that little bit of titanium white. And again, it's just a little tap and pull.
the watermark on YouTube was covering. You're in the very bottom right-hand corner of the shot.
So I'm just taking a little of that white and coming right to the edge and putting just a little bit of that bright white right at the tip, right at the edge of those petals. It's just like a little tiny highlight.
Your palette looks very big. What is it?
It's a 9 by 12 standard palette paper palette from Michaels. Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. She could actually use her.
I could use this thing, but I hate cleaning it. But that's not a bad thing. It's this actually cleans up very easily. I have to say I was rather surprised at how simple it was to clean up. So I'm going to come in and right at the bottom of these tulips, I'm going to put a little float of asphaltum. And see how it changes the tone of that diox purple? It doesn't make it not purple. It just deepens it a little bit. And at the same time, gives me lots of tone, sort of tones it a little bit. And I like how that looks.
Will you just paint my tulip?
No.
I'm really scared on how mine will turn out.
Now the tulips are not as hard to paint as they appear. Now, once I have them all done, one of the things I want to do is come in again to this green. On these stems, I want to separate them a little bit. So I'm going to use a little asphaltum and I'm going to separate these petals just a little bit, just by shading along them so that those stems stand out, jump forward a little bit.
Asphaltum is a magical color.
I love this color. It tones things. It doesn't really drastically change the color of things, but it tones them. And so you're able to get more out of your palette that way. I'm going to use a little bit of that green gold and quite a lot of the warm white. I essentially want to make a bright, bright green. And I want to put in a little highlight on those stems, just like this, just to pop them forward a little bit more.
Well, there's a newcomer. Her username is LMA. And they are just saying, "Hi Tracy, love the spring tulips."
This is a fun piece to paint. So from the tulips, you're going to jump over and start doing this lettering. Now I'm using a number 2 rigger. And for those of you that have never seen this one used, it is not a liner brush, it's a rigger, and it forms a chisel edge like a flat brush does. So if you're working on a surface, you're going to get a square edge as opposed to a teardrop shape. If I did this with a round, or if I did that with a liner brush, it forms a dome like this. Whereas the rigger brush forms more of a chisel edge like a flat. So because of that, I can use it for all sorts of things, but in most particularly, it is ideal for lettering. So I'm using just a little bit of warm white. And I'm going to tap my brush so that it flattens out and I have a chisel edge. I'm going to start at the top of the S. And I'm going to press down on the brush till it fills that space. And then when I release, I come back up onto the chisel edge.
Boom. One stroke S.
Now it takes a little bit of practice to get that control, that brush control down. But once you start practicing with this, you're going to discover that lettering is not really all that difficult to paint.
Oh, I painted the yellow cup with tulips, but my tulips look messy when floated with the white on them. Okay. I painted the yellow cup.
Oh, I know the one she's talking about, the yellow teacup.
Okay.
Yep.
But my tulips look messy when floated the white on them. How do I fix?
By messy, I think what you mean is that they're looking a little foggy, like it's too much of a contrast from the base color to the white. If you have trouble controlling the white and it looks a little over the top, you can float over that with your base color. So put a couple of floats of your base color, just the float, over top of it. That should tone it down. And then if you need to, you can brighten it up by adding a little bit of the warm white to your base color and then floating it. A lot of the time it's simply getting control of how much white is in the brush. So press down, open it up till it fills the space. Of course, then it wouldn't open up. My brush did not want to open up. There we go. And then come back up on the chisel edge.
What is the brand name of the rigger brush?
This one is a Dynasty Faux Squirrel. It's a number 2. It's my favorite brush.
It's the most used rigger.
Yeah, I use this. I use it daily. I use it for so many things. Because it's such an easy brush to control, mainly. I find it is. And especially for lettering. Lettering is one of those things that people always sort of balk at.
I used something other than asphaltum the other day, and I really wished I had used it. I will never stray again.
They're really, I mean, you can use burnt umber instead of, like for antiquing and things like that. But burnt umber is made from umber, which is a color we use to negate color. So the whole point behind it is to subdue color. It buries it. It takes the punch out of it, takes the life out of it. That's what it's for. So a burnt umber does the same thing, but it has a bit of a reddish tone to it. And so it antiques really nicely, but it is quite opaque, so you have to be very careful about how you use it. Asphaltum is a really unusual color because although it's a brown, it's a yellow-based brown, and it's very transparent. And so I can thin this out, and I can use it for aging and antiquing things without flattening out the color. So that's why I use it, because I can tone so many things without taking the life out of the color. I love it.
The Partners team, which is the username for the YouTube channel, I guess.
Okay.
Where is the rigger brush available? Diane Barnes?
Diane Barnes. Hi, Diane. You can get the rigger from the Brush Guys. You can also get my faux squirrel brushes, which includes the rigger. You can get them from Maureen Baker at maureenbaker.com. Or you can get them at the Brush Guys. But if you're ordering through the Brush Guys, make sure you use that coupon code.
Save you 5%.
Save you a little extra.
If anyone is waiting for me to get the grunge script stamp set, they are now in stock.
Deb's got them? Good. Yeah, if you're looking for that grunge set, go to paintingwithdeb.com. She's got them on her site.
I got her website right there. Boom.
And mine should be in sometime this week with a little bit of luck and good management. I think we have one.
We have one.
I think we have one left.
I love asphaltum. Shout out to Deb, the troublemaker. Oh no, Sandy's the troublemaker.
No, Sandy's not a troublemaker. She's my partner in crime.
Okay. Deb's the troublemaker?
Deb's the keeper of the bail money.
keeper of the bail money. Good to know. Shipping Monday.
Woohoo!
I was able to find Windsor
Newton.
Newton?
Newton. I know, it's probably a name you've
Light
never heard in this.
umber.
Light umber?
Yeah.
Huh.
It is the closest I could find to Ashwaubenon and still want to I just want Americana Ashwaubenon.
We all do.
I have the banner. And photos.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So we have to stay friends. She knows too much.
It's like a blood pact.
Yep.
Blood oath.
Well, I mean, it's been, now we're going on year 2 that Deb and I have not been on a Hobby Lobby quest.
Who handles the money when you two are in Hobby Lobby?
Please. That's funny. I love Hobby Lobby. So I've got one coat
There's the coupon code again.
on my lettering. And if I want them really, really opaque, I will do 2 or 3 coats. But most of the time, I just let my lettering go at 1. Depends on how opaque they went on in the first place. But with that rigor, it's easy to keep control of, that base coat. So, and once you remove all those graphite lines, these letters clean up really nicely. So,
yeah, the coupon code's also in the description. I put it in
yep,
there.
it's in the description as well. So,
spring is much needed today in Oklahoma. We're above freezing for the first time in 12 days.
ooh,
Whew. Yeah.
Oklahoma City is such a neat place. And one of the coolest things is,
Is that the rule with Deb?
what's that?
Whoever has the cheapest receipt from Hobby Lobby
Yep,
buys lunch.
that's right.
Okay.
We work very hard to avoid eating. No, that's the rule. Whoever has the lowest total on their Hobby Lobby receipt buys lunch.
Yeah. Lowest total.
Lowest total. Because generally that's the one who has money left.
Okay, fair enough. You would think that would be the goal, is to have the lowest. To
You
leave
would
with the most
think.
stuff and have the lowest. on
Yeah,
the receipt.
that's the idea. But yeah, Hobby Lobby's a dangerous place to go.
Oklahoma
I love
City is home of Hobby Lobby.
It is. Home of Hobby Lobby.
Many
And it's walking distance from the hotel when we're at OKC.
many a night with a beer and a container of Pringles. Okay. Like the beer is in the.
No. Some nights that's all we have for lunch. Box Pringles and
And the Corona.
a Corona. Not the Corona, but a Corona.
I know. How do you remove the graphite line?
Oh, how do I use? I use my
Handy dandy.
handy dandy Factus Black eraser. I love my Factus Black.
Doo.
Doop. This is a Factus Black. There's a couple of reasons why I use this one. First and foremost is it will remove graphite lines. That's easily, that's the main purpose of it. But it also doesn't damage your paint. So you don't get shiny spots in your painted surface. And it does really nicely remove graphite lines. Very nicely. That's the wonderful thing about a Factus Black eraser. You don't have to work hard to get those lines off. and it doesn't polish your surface, especially on a dark background. If you're working on black backgrounds, which I do quite a bit, there's nothing worse than erasing your graphite lines and ending up with this shiny spot that just won't go away. You know, so I do love my Factus black eraser, and it will take off it'll take off graphite very easily, which is a bonus as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of the time graphite doesn't come off as easily as we would think. So I do like my... Now this upper lettering up here, I'm using a 10-aught liner for this one, because look how tiny it is. And my last 10-aught rigger packed it in the other day, so it just quit. It was too much. So I'm using a 10-aught liner to paint in my small lettering up here where it says Hoppy. I've got a stray hair. There we go. So for this tiny lettering, this liner will work just fine. I'm using a little bit of warm white. And again, I'm just filling the space. Press down till it opens up, fills the space, and then come back up onto the tip of the brush. The nice part is because you're working with a liner, those little fine lines are going to be a whole lot easier. There we go. And then I'm going to put that one little line across there. Now, the only thing I have left, I think we've covered everything. We've done the tulips, we've done leaves. I'm going to take a little of that warm white and some of that green gold, and I'm going to make a fairly opaque pale green. I'll pick up a little flow medium while I'm at it. And I'm going to stroke in these little vines and tendrils using that 10-aught liner. And I'm going, oh, that eraser is getting in my way here.
Where can you find that eraser?
Those erasers are actually very easy to find. You find them in the drawing section at Michael's. You can find them in most Staples stores, and you can find them on Amazon.
And it is a Factus.
In fact, F-A-C-T-I-S, black, and the number on it is 18. These are great. They usually come in packages of 2. From Michael's, and they're not all that expensive, but they are worth every single penny because they don't tear your paint up, they don't mess up, they don't smear graphite lines, they just take everything off, which is what you want.
I'm going to have to practice my lettering with this brush, but you make it look so easy.
It is all about practice, and to be perfectly honest, it's about brush control. It's getting control of that brush, the right balance of liquid to paint in the brush, and then learning how that brush works. Getting it up to fill in that space, pressing down, opening it up, fill the space, and then bring it back up onto the chisel edge. It's all about brush control. It's like doing stroke work. So, we've done our leaves, we've done our lettering, we've done our bunny leaves, we've done our tulips, and there's a couple of little steps that I like doing to these. I'm going to switch over to this finished one so that we can talk about those. Now, I use my gel pens. This is my Uniball Signo. I like going around my tulips, all the little details of my tulips with a sketchy line. And I do the same thing to the stems and the leaves. Just keep it light. It doesn't need to be heavy-handed. It doesn't have to be accurate. But when you put that little line in, it sort of softens some edges, cleans up some borders, and it sort of pops and brings all of that forward. And it defines it a little bit better. And I like using a pen in this way. I like how it defines things, and it gives it character. It gives the leaves a little bit of interest. It gives the tulips a little interest. You're not going to draw a hard line around everything and every little detail, but it's just a simple sketchy line like that. And it does change how this looks. And I kind of like that. I like it that it's not so hard-edged. The only thing I don't do it to is the bunny leaves. I like the bunny leaves the way they are. So that is it for that. This is not a difficult piece to do. It is fun, and it takes on a bit more relaxed and less hard-edged look to it when there's this, you know, slight irregular and sketchy line here and there. I just like how it looks. Doesn't have to be solid, doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help define a few things, like so. And then, of course, you can use it to sign your name to your piece. Now, to finish this, I like to go around the edges with a float of asphaltum. Who knew? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab my angle. You don't need a ton of this color, just a little bit. You can do this with a little bit of burnt umber, but make sure you thin it out really well. And then I'm just going to put a little float of that around the edges. It's just enough to darken it, tones that peacock teal at the edges of the piece, like so, and along the bottom. So there we have that shading in. And then the next step would be to grab your favorite fugly brush, my favorite fugly brush. This is why I call it a fugly brush, because it's fugly.
There you go, man.
What's that?
I just gave you 99 cents.
You what?
I gave you 99 cents.
You gave me 99 cents.
$1 Canadian.
Oh, for
Chat
heaven's
revenue.
sake.
I was testing it out. Just making sure it worked.
Yeah. So this is my fugly brush. There's a reason why I call it that, and it's fairly obvious. I love these natural hair brushes, and I use them constantly. So what I do is I take this brush and a little bit of water, and I'm using some titanium white. You can use warm white or whatever you have on hand, just a white. And I lightly spatter my piece with just that thinned warm white,
Of course.
because I like how it looks. And that fugly brush, they have them at the brush guys as well. My fugly brush. I love these. I use them all the time. So now I'm going to dry this real quick. And there you have it. That's our Hoppy Spring.
Hoppy Spring.
Hoppy Spring.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Puppy.
Puppy?
I accidentally hit the puppy
Oh, you
button.
hit the puppy button? Oh my gosh.
Puppy button. There we go.
How about you hit the mom button?
Here's the mom button. There's the mom button.
Well, that's it for today, guys. This was a fun piece to paint. So we only have one thing left to do, and that is to decide who our winner is today.
Do, do, do.
Wow, lots of people on the chat today.
Yeah. I think the little tutorial helped.
Did it? I hope so. Renee's scrolling through. Now he's got to do some counting, and then, oh, now he's got the generator going.
Random number generator. There we go. There's about, how many participants?
I don't know. A whole hockey sock full. How many does it take to fill a hockey sock?
Number 49. Who's number 49?
He's counting down through the list. Find out who wins. The prize pack for today, the giveaway for today is really nice. There's a little brush set, and there's a set of stencils and a set of stamps. So yeah, it's a nice little prize pack. If he ever picks a winner.
I'm still counting.
He's working on it. Well, while he's doing that, I'm going to tell you about next week. Next weekend, next Saturday, I've got a new design for you guys. Because I was playing the other day. Well, you saw me playing because I was painting this, and I was actually just playing. I wanted to see how it looked, and it turned out so cute that we wrote it up as a new pattern. But next week, we're going to do phone stands, 2 of them. So the patterns for these will be up, so you can pick and choose which one you want to do. I like this one, the Just Bee. Me and bees. I love my bees. So we're going to do the Just Bee, and then we have Soar, which is the dragonfly. So we've got a couple of things for you to do next week. We've got all kinds of fun technique in those 2 pieces. A little bit of stenciling, some nice bright colors. Everything's very summery and very fresh and very spring-like. So watch out for that this week. And oh my goodness, our winner is Mary Davis. Mary, go to my website, and on the front page in the lower right corner, there's a little speech bubble. Click on it and send us a message with your shipping information. Let us know where we have to send your goodies. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And congratulations. You're going to have some fun with that little pile of gifts. And anything else? Anything else we need to cover? Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I will be going live on Facebook this week. We'll be talking about a couple of things, just a short one. And what else? If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to check out the website. We've got some new surfaces going up, some new patterns going up, and we've got some new stencils coming in. We got lots of stuff happening on the website this week. So yeah, make sure you check that out. And we'll keep you updated on Miss Dot and how she's doing.
And the pinned comment for today's live is Jessica Killerin. I do appreciate how the tulip tutorial teaches us to slow down.
Yes. Slow down. Take your time. It's supposed to be fun and relaxing, not stress-filled. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. As always, you guys are great, and I really do appreciate you coming to watch and play in my sandbox. And I look forward to seeing you guys all again next Saturday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I have 2 Zoom classes posted. There's still seats available, so if you're interested, registration is built right on the website. Just check them out on there. What else? Oh, yes. Secret coupon code. There's one on the website. You just have to look for it.
No, you shouldn't have edited that.
You just have to look for it. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a secret coupon code. It's not a secret anymore.
It was up there for everyone and God to see, so it's not really a secret to start with. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Mwah. Love you. Stay safe.